Hey guys and girls, today I'm going to be making a quick video on replacing the ratchet ring for a Novatec D712SB-B12 hub. This hub came on Santa Cruz bikes in 2017. I didn't really have a lot of problems with this hub. It's not a Chris King or anything fancy, but it worked for me until the ratchet ring broke apart. So this is one half of the ratchet ring. If I can get the camera to focus. There we go. Okay. So this is one half of the ratchet ring. And these little pieces here is the other half that broke off, obviously, into little pieces. So I tried to research on where I could find this because, I try to fix things instead of buying brand new things, even though it's fun to buy new things. Anyway, so I was looking around. I couldn't find a place that would ship to the United States that sold this ratchet ring. Also, just trying to figure out which ratchet ring from Novatec that I needed. So I did my research. I found this. Sure that this was the correct ratchet ring that I needed for this hub. They got back to me pretty quickly and said yes, that I needed the type 2 ratchet ring. There's also a type 1 ratchet ring that threads into the hub shell, but because of the older style of this hub, it is a press-in style ratchet ring. This ratchet ring for this hub is a 27 tooth. On their website they call it the type 2 press-in ratchet ring. I also saw there's a few companies in the UK that you can get this ratchet ring from, but they only ship in Europe, in the UK. So this is the new ratchet ring. It's just nice and shiny for now. Feels solid. Doesn't feel like it's made out of plastic. Feel like it's made out of the same material that the original ratchet ring was made out of. So now I'm just going to run through putting this in. Actually, quick, I'm going to show you how this hub here works. This little flange edge there needs to be pointing in towards the inside of the hub. This the axle goes on. This ratchet ring is inside the hub. So that's how the pawls fit into the ratchet ring. And then when you're not pedaling and coasting along, your pawls are spinning inside of here. You pedal, they engage. It kind of looks like all 4 pawls engage. I may be wrong about that, but just from looking at this and what I'm seeing, it looks like all 4 engage and pretty quick. It's like not the best engagement, but it works, and that's good enough for me. A little bit about the free hub. This gaps in between here for the pawls developed a slight notch. You can't barely see it there on the left paw inside there over time. So I ran through and sanded in between the paws so that way they would spring back up, because they were sticking down with that little piece of metal that had been worn in. Another little repair I had to make before installing this new ratchet ring was, as you can see barely on the inside of the hub where the ratchet ring is pressed in to the hub itself, these little notches here got worn a little bit because I did not replace the ratchet ring in time. So I tried to sand those down as smooth as possible so that hopefully this ratchet ring will just press right in. Okay, so next, to start pressing in the ratchet ring into the hub, I'm going to use some of this generic Park Tools green grease. Rub that around the ratchet ring and some inside the hub and start pressing it in to the hub shell itself. So I'm just going to go around. Get started the ratchet ring. Remember that little lip needs to go in towards the hub shell. I'm going to line it up as best I can and press it in with my hand a little first, and then I'll start with my wheels manufacturing press. Ratchet ring pressed in slightly to the hub cell. I'm going to put my press in here. I'm gonna actually use the other end of the hub itself as my press, hopefully here. If it seems like it's gonna mess up this, I'm gonna switch to something else. And just start pressing it in. Using the other end of the axle here, I pressed in the ratchet ring with my wheels manufacturing press, the super cheap one. So this shows that you don't need all those fancy dies like I don't even know how expensive the die set is for these presses. But press that in, and then I'll take it out real quick and show you what it looks like. It slid in super easy with the little bit of grease I used. Alright, so now we have the ratchet ring pressed in to the hub shell itself. Looks good. Went in super smooth, even with my little notches from my other one breaking inside of there. Super easy. So next I'm going to use a little bit of this Tri-Flow lubricant on the paws of the free hub, just so there's something inside of there. I don't really like using a bunch of grease, and this little seal will go with this little lip. Focus camera. With this little lip pointed in towards the outside of the shell. I don't know if that makes sense, but that just slides on there. I'm going to put a little bit more of that green grease here where the bearings will sit on the axle. Then I will thread the other end of the axle on to hold it in place. There's little notches on the ends here for, I believe it is a 17mm wrench. I'm going to put on there and just snug it up a little bit. I do have problems with this coming loose over time, and I do believe that is what could have led to my ratchet ring breaking in my hub. So just going to keep an eye on that, get it snugged up. Not super tight, but just snug it up. Alright, so let me get started on that. Alright, so a little spray of my Tri-Flow here. Not even going to spray that one. I don't want a lot because, of course, lubricant oils attract dirt. So just a little bit here. Spin it around. Let it kind of work in there. I think I'm going to wipe this off with a paper towel a little bit to get the excess off. Then I'm going to put a little bit of grease here, like I was saying, where the bearings will sit on the axle. A little bit here and there. Just rub it around. Someone might yell at me for not using gloves, but I never use gloves. I'm not bragging about that. I mean, I probably should use gloves. I just don't really have gloves. So got all that done, sit it down real quick, wipe off that excess bit of tri-flow, and then push this thing in there, tighten it up, and hopefully we'll be done. I'm gonna put the axle through, just slide it in. There's a lot of jokes that could be said about that. Why are we not? Oh, there's a little piece inside of here. Might just barely. There's a sleeve inside of the hub between the two bearings, so make sure that's lined up. And once it should slide through. Alright, I've got the hub axle slid in there, so to try to get it to sit into the press, I'm going to spin it and hopefully get the pawls to slide in between the ratchet ring teeth and just slide it the rest of the way in. The axle slid through the hub here. Ratchet sounds good. It's spinning pretty freely and engaging. Spinning, engaging. Good news. So I'm gonna put a little bit of grease here on these threads and tighten it up with my 17. So I've got the other end of the axle here. Oh geez, almost touched my brake with all this grease on my hand. I'm just threading it on there. Hand tight first, and then use the wrench to snug it up. Finally, hopefully finally, with my wrench here, 17mm, gonna tighten it up just a little bit from hand tight, just to stop it from coming loose later. Alright, and we're done. So that's how you put the ratchet ring in. This video was a little bit longer than I thought it would be. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you wish to see more videos whenever I make them, please subscribe. We'll get here in 3 days. It got here in 3 days. I paid them through PayPal. Everything went through cleanly. $12 for shipping to Pennsylvania from Taiwan, which I don't know how bad or good that is. That doesn't seem too expensive. And get yourself a ratchet ring, fix your hub, and keep rolling. All right, talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.